In the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast. In the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast. In the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast. In the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast. 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 In the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast. In the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast. In the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast. In the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast. 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 In the zone.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the In the Zone podcast. It is your boy, B. Foster. Brian Foster's in the building. What's happening, y'all? Hope everything is good on this nice, damn near end of summer Wednesday. What's happening, Sean?
Nothing. I'm obviously overdressed for the weather, but that's what happens when you work from home. You have air conditioning.
Turn your air conditioner down.
I walked outside and said, oh, well, I'm not changing my clothes, so it's what it is.
It is what it is.
But yeah, I'm excited about the show. We finally get to talk about celibacy. We've been trying to figure this out for like
We have been trying to figure it out for a little while. That's because all y'all nasty and be fucking. So we couldn't find no celibate folks, but we finally figured it out.
We did.
All right, well, let's jump right into it.
We ready? You ready to fight?
Let's fight. Let's get it.
God. All right, Ron, hit it.
Since 1981, no one is going to the movies. Why? Well, we stacked it upon ourselves, right? So the article points to the reboot is done because it's been used too many times, right? So that's been the strategy to get us all back. But there has to be a new strategy, a new thinking, and some compassion and understanding that money isn't everything. You got to give to get. It's a circle. And that's, coming back to working in LA, we work within the community first. And then it works out. It spins out to the world. We have the ability. We have the artisans. We have the filmmakers. We have the directors. And we have the money.
Okay,
so why not give and take a
There you go. First of all, that's my boy Giancarlo.
Just for all the people who think I'm a Denzel hater, that's my number one actor. That's all I got.
That's not the point. Is that what we arguing about?
I'm just saying.
Is that what we fighting about?
I mean, we can, but no, that's actually not what we're fighting about.
What we fighting about?
So you're a movie buff,
I
far
am.
more than I am. And I found this pretty interesting that he is basically saying that, one, and I think we all know this, movies are dying. And movies are dying because basically people aren't creative. And part of the creativity, they need to have new ideas and they need to stop being money hungry, which I found that one fascinating, especially talking to Scrooge McDuck over here. So I guess that's my first question, right, Brian? Like, are they is it really just reboot season in the theaters and that's why people don't want to go?
I think it's twofold.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that reboots and sequels became a thing because that's what made money and that's what people paid to see. Right. So they didn't just start making. So like Jaws 2 was one of the first sequels, right? Empire Strikes Back, one of the first sequels. That wasn't really a thing back then. But then those things made money. Jaws 2 made more money than Jaws 1.
I don't see how. It's freaking terrible.
It doesn't matter. It made more money. And they were like, oh shit, we got something here. So we didn't pay for it up front. Then that wouldn't be a thing. The reboots, how many Halloweens and Freddy's and Lord knows what Freaky Fridays have rebooted and done it over, blah, 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 blah. But I don't think it lacks for creativity. I think Hollywood doesn't want to take chances anymore.
Oh.
And that the things that are creative are now streaming. So now you're not getting them. You know, you don't get a Fargo, now that has, speaking of spinoffs and sequels and blah, 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 blah. Fargo had a whole TV show, but you don't get an independent movie like Fargo in a theater anymore. You get that on Prime or you get that on Apple TV, right? So they'll spend the money, but not theatrically released because they found that it's just not as profitable. I mean, Superman made money. Fantastic Four made money. Maybe it didn't make what they projected, but it turned a profit.
Fantastic Four was okay. I don't know. My belief is, first of all, they were making all these dumbass sequels before the pandemic, right?
Facts.
But I think much like going to work, much like online shopping, the option of not leaving your house to watch a movie just broke us, and nobody wants to go to a movie outside of you and the other 10 people that seem to not be keeping the movie theaters alive. Nobody wants to do that anymore. They want to sit at home on their comfy couch with a 100-inch screen TV.
You think it was the pandemic?
I think the pandemic made...
It was the pandemic.
I don't want to say it made everybody lazy, right? But I think being presented with the idea of not having to leave your house was appealing to people.
Sure, that's part of
and
it.
People were like...
People are already
I
doing
want
that.
to go.
People are already doing it. Ask how many motherfuckers got a broken TV box or a Fire Stick and all that shit. Bootleg movies was a thing forever. We always wanted to sit our ass at home and watch movies.
True. But now people even have the movie experience at their house. People have movie theaters at their house.
They got surround sound,
they have
bigger TVs and with better quality and all that.
Yeah.
But that's nothing like being in a movie theater with people and experience a shitty movie or a quality movie.
Brian, the last time you went to the movie, how many people in the theater?
I went to go see Fantastic Four.
Mm-hmm.
There were probably 70, 80 of us.
Oh.
And that wasn't like even a night of. That was like 2 weeks after it came out.
Oh, okay. Well,
I mean, some people, but it was like $5 Tuesday. And free
that
popcorn.
might have been what it
I mean, it matters.
The last time I went to see the last movie I saw that the theater was packed was John Wick.
The first one?
No. The last one that just came out.
That was 3 years ago.
Was that
at
3
least?
Years ago? No, I just saw something where the movie theater was packed. But most of the time when I go see it, if I don't go see it the first night, if I go see it a week later, it's like 10 people in
It depends on the movie. It depends on where you go. And it depends on what time you go.
Yeah.
You probably ain't going to the movies on Friday and Saturday night no more because you old.
Well, no, I do go on Fridays.
You go on Friday nights?
I do sometimes. Well, I'm forced to go. But this ain't my idea. But I do go on Friday nights. Like, do we kind of go? Yeah. And that's usually when it's packed. If you go on like a Tuesday, and that wasn't always the case. I remember going on like Tuesday nights. It'd be maybe not full, but half the theater would be full.
Tuesdays be cracking.
Yeah.
Old people be in there on a Tuesday. Trust that. They getting that popcorn and they getting that movie.
Clearly, I'm in good company now that I'm old. But yeah, I think people just, like I said, the online shopping, I think people just don't want to.
Well, plus it's like, how many Marvel movies can I go see? Now I'll go see them all. But how many Marvel movies do I want to go to a theater pay for? How many Jurassic Parks do I want to go support?
And that's to Giancarlo's point.
So I think that Hollywood is underestimating. I think if you but here's the other thing. Big production movies, John Wick, Jurassic Park, Star Wars, Batman, right? That's shit you're going to see on the big screen. Did you need to Do the Right Thing on the big screen? Probably not, if you had the option back then.
Oh.
See what I'm saying?
I think you still would have. Just because people like
you might want to go support, but you know what I'm saying.
I get your point.
Yeah, if it's not some action packed with loud thunder and it's not Tom Cruise jumping off a fucking mountain at 85 years old, I'll wait for it to come on TV.
That was the dumbest shit. I saw that. I didn't see the last one that just came out. I saw the one before the Ghost Protocol.
No, Ghost Protocol. This last
that
one was
fucking jumping off a damn mountain. I was like, nigga, stop.
Come on.
You 1,000 years old. Nobody is.
But he's doing it. That man wants to die, though. I am.
That's how he's going
I'm
down.
a firm believer. That motherfucker wants to die doing a stunt. Firm believer.
But yeah, I do agree with Giancarlo. I think movie theaters and Hollywood need to become a little bit more creative. I mean, I think
they'd be surprised.
I don't know how you get people into the theaters unless you just kill cable. I don't really know, but I do think they need to be a little bit more thoughtful about the movies that they choose to put in theaters, and then they would see a surge of people.
I think they'd be surprised if they put
because to your point, I mean, how many fucking times can you see what's the Denzel Washington one? Well, he's the old superhero.
Equalizer.
Thank you. How many times can you watch him pretend to be a superhero?
But there's always like surprise, like Blair Witch Project. They didn't think that was ever going to be this blockbuster thing.
In fucking 2000.
But what I'm saying is, if you put movies out that are different and creative and unique, you never know what's going to hit and be some huge thing. The safer bets are the sequels and the Superman and the superheroes, somebody in a cape, but that's becoming less so. So I think Hollywood's going to be forced to go back to actual scripts and real actors.
Are you sure that just movie theaters won't go away and everybody will just have to watch?
I don't think movie theaters ever go away. Not entirely. Not my lifetime.
I don't know. I think they're gonna go the way of malls.
Nope, I don't think so. There might be less of them, but there'll always be a movie theater. There's still drive-ins, so.
No, now look, I look for a drive-in. Them things are not easy to find.
But they still exist.
It's like 2 in the Chicagoland area.
And
one is the pop-up.
But there'll always be 2 movies.
You're gonna be driving out the fucking Rosemont to see a damn movie.
Me.
You are fucking stupid. All right, now that wasn't even really a fight. That was more of a discussion. But we fight enough. You said what?
No. Don't read the comments.
All right, did he get hit with a story?
No, he did not. That's why I said don't read the comments. All right, y'all. I know y'all tuned in to see us talk about a little celibacy and unpacking our baggage. So let's jump right in that. Ron, hit me with that next video.
Mute us, please.
Mute us real quick.
To hear Maya's story about 7 years of celibacy. It might just change your perspective. Maya recently opened up about her 7-year celibacy journey, and it's not just about abstaining from relationships. She emphasized the incredible mental clarity it provided, allowing her to shift focus from seeking validation through romantic partnerships to embracing self-love and personal growth. According to Maya, society tends to pressure women into defining their worth through relationships and marriage. But through celibacy, she reconditioned her mindset, stating, "Love is beautiful, and the world always needs more of it, but you must start with yourself." Maya's story is a powerful reminder that sometimes saying no can be an act of profound self-love. Maybe it's time to find out. This is why you need to hear Maya's story about 7 years of celibacy. It might just change your perspective. Maya recently opened up about her 7-year celibacy journey, and it's not just about abstaining from relationships. She emphasized the incredible mental clarity it provided, allowing her to shift focus from seeking validation through romantic partnerships to embracing self-love and personal growth. According to Maya, society tends to pressure women into defining.
I guess so we can get into this conversation. As always, I introduce on my right-hand side, my best-hand side. Y'all know this woman. She's been on here lots of times.
Both of them.
Both of them. Facts. She about to say some old nasty, intelligent shit.
Then we're going to be like,
Is that my MO?
The nasty professor. The nasty professor. My girl Mila, what's happening?
What's going on?
How you doing?
I mean, dirty girls have degrees. What can I say?
Come on now. DWD. Dirty with degrees.
and of course, our other fave, or you guys' fave, Tahini coming in. I know she's gonna say something about black men ain't shit in the celibacy conversation.
No, why you gotta plant that seed?
Because they already thinking it.
Well, you don't plant that seed.
That's already on their brain.
Don't plant that seed. All right, come on, kick us off, Sean.
All right, I think the first thing we need to kind of dig into, we're gonna talk about celibacy, but I think first, just really quickly, you're currently celibate?
I am abstaining from sex. And
Okay.
there's a big difference.
I'm glad we jumping right into that.
Okay, how long have you been abstaining?
9 years.
9 years. Mila, are you currently celibate?
I am not currently celibate.
Okay, well, how the hell did you get on the show?
But she has been.
He invited me.
She has been. And
But you
know,
have been celibate.
Oh, absolutely.
and you know she works with women that have.
I'm fucking with her.
Oh,
Let me get the
okay.
jokes
My
off.
bad.
Brian, are you celibate?
I'm married, so I'm celibate.
How long have you been celibate?
16 years.
I mean, that's how marriage works a little bit sometimes. So.
Kidding.
All right, so you decided to abstain to Heine. Let's get into like why. Is it for spiritual reasons? Are you trying to heal? Is it like some personal boundaries? Like what led you to abstaining from sex for 9 years?
We're gonna say it like that,
Right, like
9 years.
That's a long time.
Come May, and May will be here before
It's a long time.
2,000 days.
That's a whole third grader.
I think that's a big misconception. People think because I'm not having sex, this chair just went down. And y'all know
That's all right. Don't worry about it.
I'm big. But people assume like, oh, you're on a spiritual journey or you're trying to do it for a reason. It's literally because I don't like my options, and the men that I do date don't require sex to go on nice dates. And it's as simple as that. Like the brothers that are attracted to me are not worth having sex with, and the white men that take me out will take me to nice places without needing pussy in exchange for plates. And so that's what it is.
It's a lot of acronyms. First of all, it's a lot of acronyms flying around. I don't know if I like it. But hold on. But let me ask this.
So it's really that simple. It's not deep.
That's fair. But so you go out with these white guys, and they don't P for P, right? There's no exchange.
Right.
But you don't find them attractive enough that you want to be intimate with them?
No. Like I'm able to go, to a nice restaurant in Resolute, have a great conversation over a good meal, and then carry my tail on a hostage to my house, right? I don't have to. Man, I don't.
I'm talking about want to.
But I don't even want to.
So
like,
are
I
you
really
attracted
want
to them?
energy.
So that's what like
Sometimes,
Okay.
but not enough so that I would want to have sex with them.
intimate
My
with
type
them.
is like Gerald Levert or something, or Rick Ross
Baby, I'm
pre-surgery.
ready.
Like physically,
I don't think I've ever heard anybody say Gerald
Ever.
Levert is their type.
Yeah, but
This seems
chunky,
interesting.
chocolate, nice beard, nice hair. That is my type. And if he isn't chunky, chocolate with a little change, like I don't get turned on. And so I just got to the point where I was like, why am I having sex? They're getting everything out of it. I'm getting nothing. There's no point. Like, there's really no point. If I can still enjoy myself and go out on the town, why bother?
So I'm gonna ask a nosy question, and you can tell me to go to hell, right?
Nah, I would
When you
never.
say,
No.
I mean, it's not like it'd be the first time I heard it. When you say you're getting nothing out of it, what are we talking about? Are you talking about like an orgasm? Are you talking about a relationship? Like, what do you mean by getting nothing?
I get no effort, no orgasm,
No pleasure?
No anything. It's like I'm sitting here engaging in the act, and I want to put this out there too. I helped edit like a sex and relationship blog years ago. The amount of sisters that have not had orgasms or fake orgasms was astounding. I thought I was like on a little island by myself, right? And I found out that this is a commonality.
No.
I don't want some 40-year-old man pumping on me like a puppy on a pillow just because he took me out to eat. Like, but that's what a lot of us are going through, and nobody wants to talk about it. We just fake it until we make it, until we hump up on the right one, right? And I decided I ain't gotta fake it till I make it, because over on the other side of the tracks, it's not a requirement like it is on our side of town.
We're gonna come back to you. Mila.
I'm scared of these comments over here. I'm like, oh,
Don't read the
No, you can't get
Don't go
distracted.
there.
You can't get distracted.
I'll stay here.
So Mila,
Bye, Rob.
you're not currently celibate, but you practiced celibacy before?
I have.
Okay. And I assume that was a few years ago, and that was for a period of time.
Yeah. So one, I think when I was changing lifestyles. So it's some people may not know or have seen me or heard, but I have no problem with my past.
Mhm.
So having been a stripper, a dancer, and kind of like a really bad lifestyle, I had to make some decisions to turn my life around. And it came with literally everything. From changing my phone number. I remember shaving my hair. I was so desperate to be another woman. If I can make it hard for me to make money in the strip club because it was so easy to get fast money, then I was doing anything possible. I stopped pills cold turkey. I put myself around nobody but also I had to take my body back because I realized that I was keeping company with people that I really didn't feel safe with. I was very performative with my attraction. I didn't even know how, my kids say, you don't have a type. And honestly, I didn't know how to be attracted to a man. I was just kind of always the person being invited. So I never had, and that's not with arrogance, but when you're a woman, you're offered by all shapes, sizes, ethnicity, ages. So at a young age, starting from 10, if men are offering themselves, I'm just like trying to figure out another way to, how do you build a connection? So that level of celibacy gave me an opportunity to reset my values, reset how I respected my body, even reset communicating pleasure. Because when you start having sex at 16, there's certain things that you don't know how to talk about.
Right.
So as an adult woman, whether you're concerned about safety, if you're thinking about pregnancy and the what ifs, or what is it that you like. So I wanted to be a little bit more confident. So that was that. And then I remember broaching the subject of abstaining from sex in my marriage, but it wasn't for punishment. It was really for self-control and discipline. This might be TMI, but for those of us who have birth control, it can stop your cycle. Right. And so then I was open 24/7. I had no rest, which meant that there was no intimacy, that he would always just want sex. And so I was like, why don't we reset why we're being intimate? Like, it isn't, I'm not just a body for you to get off on. Like, I'm your wife. Like, there should be some moments that we connect, and my body isn't just some space for you to like please yourself because you're aroused. He was pissed. My job was to have sex with him. My job wasn't to be his partner. My job wasn't to be a wife. My job was to be a body that when he wanted to have sex, I had to make myself available. So in that, it made me feel like nothing. And then when I left my marriage, it was hard for me to be intimate because I felt so guilty. Even though he was gone for 2 years, I'm still married. I felt like I was disrespecting the men that wanted to be with me because I'm legally still married. I felt like I was not deserving of love and intimacy and romance. I felt like I was stealing from them. And so my celibacy came as a form of respect for, I got this thing going on. I don't want you to feel like I'm trying to finesse. I just felt really bad. I was a faithful wife, and I was still a wife. And so that celibacy came with that. And it took maybe like 5 years for me to be comfortable. The marriage is over. I can make my own decisions. I'm not a sinner. Like all these things were going on in my head, and wanted to make love to someone because I was offering myself to them, not because I needed something from them.
Did you do any work, like, and I'm just going to throw out some, did you do therapy? Did you read books? Like, how did you, between ending your marriage and finding somebody that you wanted to be intimate with during that time, how did you recover? I don't have a better word than that. Like, how did you regain reset, or how did you regain your interest in wanting to be intimate with people? And how did you learn the difference between being, my very favorite word, a glory hole, right? And actually being somebody in a relationship, being intimate, being a partner? Like, what you spent that time, how did you learn all of that?
I think the first thing was realizing that I'm guilty of what it is that other men are guilty of as well, using a body, right? So I had to be very clear that the very thing that I didn't want, I was behaving as. So men's bodies are not just to get me off, right? But I also did not have an understanding of what a man actually wanted. So it came with some self-reflection that I'm guilty of behaving in the same ways that I don't want. So I am a yoga and meditation instructor. So that really saved my life mentally, emotionally, energetically, physically, because nobody wants a patient as a partner. If I'm not comfortable in my skin and you have to convince me to have sex, or you have to convince me I'm beautiful. If I'm inflexible and it hurts to have sex, that's not fun. If I'm not as perfect as I can be to offer myself, if I can't have sex with the lights on, right? Like, I'm just doing all these things to try and offer my best self to a partner. But I also did do therapy. I did, kind of go through a reset mentally to hold myself accountable for how it is that I was treating myself. I apologized to a lot of men that I dated early on because I was an absolute asshole and didn't even care. Right? I didn't care if it was your birthday, didn't care what you were going through. All I cared about is, are you pulling up? And so I had to reflect on, if I don't want that energy, I cannot behave as that energy. And so from that, I definitely started becoming more interested in understanding intimacy and romance and love, and learning about me and my practices and habits. Then I started teaching a couples class. And that's when my world changed. Looking at how to hold space for couples, watching partners really work on their relationships by working on themselves with each other was transformative. And then also having a partner that wasn't afraid to hold me accountable really did help me kind of step back and assess, like, why am I wanting? Why am I needing? Why am I asking? Whether it's for physical intimacy or emotional support. And it really turned back to insecurities, control, all of these things that nobody deserves to deal with, but I'm calling it giving myself and wanting intimacy and romance. So a lot of learning, a lot of therapy, a lot of reading, journaling. You get one today. How you spend it matters.
Oh, come on, bro. Hop in here, Beepos.
The hell was I say behind that? I got nothing. That's awesome. And I think what I glean from that a lot of time is if people can take a step back and be accountable, right, and self-reflective, and not project everything else on everybody else, that can start the healing process. That's at least a portion of what I heard.
So I guess, Tahani, shifting back to you, right? You're I guess this question is not going to really work for you, right? Because I want to understand, like, how do you navigate desire while being celibate? But you don't really do you really experience desire?
No, and that I'm glad you asked that, Sean. So people are like, what do you do when you're horny? After, I'd say, maybe the third year or so, sexual desire isn't really there for me. I'm more of a gray sexual. Google that. And I
Google it?
So I'm attracted to a specific physical type and more of a mental connection, right? And if that's not present, I don't get turned on. So I'm not like, people are like, what do? You rub one out twice a day? No. Like, there is no visiting the rub and tug. There is no like watching porn, really, because
rub and
I'm
tug.
not.
That's another good term.
Rub and tug. Because I'm not turned on in that way. If a man isn't my physical type and or stimulating mentally. So I navigate desire very easily.
So how do you navigate their desire for you, right? Because I assume these men I'm going to assume they're attracted to you, even the white ones who are polite and take you to dinner and love on you, right? How do you navigate their desire for you?
So, and everyone's like, yeah, black male bashing, because I'm looking at the comments. I brothers can be very vocal, forward, and on, like, you got some big dumb ass titties, you got milk, so immediately I'm like,
those comments.
Don't you hate those comments? And I'm sure you get them as a fellow, big booby sister, right? So in the door, I'm like, you know what? Ain't got no milk and ain't got no pussy for you. Don't. So it's day one, moment one. As soon as I get that vulgar comment, and they don't just come from the hood boogers, they come from the brothers from the high heels. 2, they are immediately horny almost as soon as they see you when you're shaped a certain way, right? And I ain't saying I'm built like Beyonce, but I've got attributes that immediately make brothers horny. And right away, I'm like, nope, I ain't even doing all that. And you turn me off so bad with this message or this comment at the lounge that I'm not even looking at you, right? White guys, on the other hand, are not angels. Let me say that again. White guys are not angels. White guys are not anti-horny or angels. What they do is they got the bar holder, they're going to pay a couple dollars to get their jollies off. They've got someone like me that, I know I can have an intelligent conversation with her about hip hop or politics. Then they may have somebody else for another purpose, right? And because my purpose specifically is for entertainment over dinner, which I experience as someone who used to travel constantly with work, sometimes I just want entertainment over dinner. I don't want to sit in my hotel suite staring at, true crime, right? I'm in that category. So there is no horniness present because they know, like, after we eat, I'm about to go, to the red, district in LA and do what I got to do.
Mm-hmm.
They're willing to break that bread and do that, right? So there's no navigating horniness or desire with the men that I date because I'm not even placed in that box. Like day one, moment one, I'm not seen for that purpose.
I have a really hard time that these men are, and I'm sure they're delightful human beings, right? But at the end of the day, we talking about people with dicks who are, and a lot of them are mature and lovely and are not driven by their sexual desires, but a large number of men are. I find it very difficult to believe, and I'm not saying they're like groping you or being disrespectful, right? But I have a really hard time believing on some of these dates they're not at least broaching the subject with you about how attractive they find you and how they may be interested in going further with you. I don't believe that.
It's not that it doesn't come up, but it comes up within the framing of, I can't believe it's been 9 years. Like, you're a cute sister, you're nice enough. Like, it's really been 9
Not
years,
nice
and
enough.
it won't, you know, like, you won't give anybody a chance on anybody. And it's like, I don't, but it doesn't go deeper than that. That's what I want to stress. There, that horniness, that vulgarity, that I'm going to accidentally grab your breast or your butt on purpose that I experience on my side, I don't experience across the train tracks. And again, that's not to say they're all angels or anything like that, because they do those things, but they do those things with a woman that is more receptive, who's more, you know, out there for that purpose. Versus like on my side, it's like pretty much I'm gonna just go for whatever, you know, when I'm on the black hand side. Okay. So in that, you know, they're like, I just, like, it's been 9 years. I always enjoy hanging out with you when I'm in Chicago. Like, you've been cool. And like, they don't take it beyond that. Like, you still haven't met anybody to break the foot cross? And I'm like, nah, so my legs are still crossed. You know, I haven't met anybody yet. And then we change the subject. It's like, but did you see like ice, you know, near Midway? And then it literally is like a blurb and a move on. Versus a, no, I'm going to change your mind. You just ain't hit this yet. Or and because you
man,
said
y'all do say dumb shit like
they do.
That.
And
I've
like,
definitely heard
you
that.
said that, you definitely aren't going to get me to uncross my legs. Now, you know.
Let me ask this. Mila, I want to bring you back in this.
Yeah.
During your period of celibacy, while you were doing all this self-reflection and introspection, did you learn something about yourself that surprised you?
Did I learn something about myself that surprised me? Yeah, a lot. I guess one, I really do enjoy sex, and I love romance, and I love intimacy, and there's a spectrum of it that I would enjoy. Also, that I was willing to live in a sexless marriage. I didn't know that about me. Like, I was so committed to my vows that he was, he wasn't faithful, but I was. But then I also asked myself, like, but am I faithful because I'm faithful, or am I faithful because it is a carrot of like, I can do something you can't do. Right? Like, so I'm only doing it to use it against you to be like, at least I don't cheat. Right. And so I started asking myself those questions, like, what type of woman am I actually? Like, am I a loyal woman? Am I an honest woman? Or am I doing it as a means to an end to be seen as such? But if given the opportunity, would I do it? And so I did do some like deep self-reflection, and I learned that about me. I also learned that I love teaching and talking about sex and intimacy, like, and not in a vulgar way, you know, like my whole life and existence has been people grabbing me, groping me, people saying disgusting things, like unsolicited pictures and advances and attacks and all of those things. So I thought that I would kind of run away from it, but no, in actuality, it is very healing when you approach it with your with a full understanding of why you're doing it, understanding all the aspects that, you know, have been hidden from you in relationships. And that's been great, like working with the Meow University and teaching intimacy classes from a place of, I don't know everything. I'm only sharing how it is that I've learned to bring other women and couples to a place of closeness. Because if you have a body waiting at home for you, someone that's giving you complete access to their very existence, and you have the opportunity to be in fellowship with them, heated fellowship, horizontal fellowship, right? Like,
hallelujah.
You know, then why wouldn't you do everything possible to make it as sweet and loving and healing as you can? You know, so from someone who doesn't have a partner, that I'm not married, I live by myself, I'm looking at folks like, man, what a waste for you to forget that this person is choosing you, for you to forget that this person is giving you all access, for you to forget to keep learning them. Like, what a waste of fucking time. You know, you have something really, really sweet and special. So I realized, like, I'm dead ass serious about when I get into a committed relationship and maybe we live together, like, I'm all in, you know. And with that first, like, I want to be able to be physically engaged with someone until my old age. Like, that's why I do yoga. I don't want to miss a day. Like, why is that not okay to say? We know that hugs can reduce time for a heart issue, that a sound of someone's voice can reduce anxiety and stress. Like, you live longer with touch. Like, I want to live longer with touch. And I think also learning, my father died at 65, that the opportunity to lengthen a Black man's life with physical touch and love and bringing down, stress, that's attractive to me. For me, that's a superpower. So if I'm serious about it, I got to handle me first before I just be offering myself yeah, I'm dope, but maybe not. So I did learn that you have to be persistent, and it's a lifestyle. It has to be for you. It's not a means to an end to get something from someone, but you really have to love the art of self-love in order to understand how to offer yourself to someone.
I guess so.
I'm gonna swing that over to you. Outside of learning that for 9 years, after 3, I'm pretty good without sex. What else have you learned about yourself through this journey that might have surprised you?
That I'm really pro-ho and pro-sex. And most Virgos are. Like, I'm the only sexless Virgo I know. And so
You're not.
I'm not.
No, I know one.
You know one too. See,
You should connect them.
Right.
Well, let me take that back. She's not sexless, but she has said many times that she could go with little less sex.
Yeah.
Little less
And
sex.
see,
Yeah.
every Virgo I know is like a highly sexual being. When I was engaging in sex, and I'm an open book. Like, I was nasty. We could do whatever, try whatever, because I was so detached and not present. Right. Not someone mentioned trauma. It wasn't a trauma thing. It was just okay, I'm just doing this to do this because I feel like people should type of thing, even as an adult. And what I learned is I am a highly sexual being, but I also have way more self-control than I thought I did. Because back then I was just like, yeah, well,
let's get it.
Here, let's go, let's get it, And then I was like, okay, well, I do, believe in having as much safe sex as you can, doing it the right way, learning fun new things or buying new, toys and products or whatever. But I don't need that. So in this journey, I was like, I don't need to engage in the performative act of sex. Like, I'll be okay without it, but then I'm also very much so a fan of doing sex the right way.
Okay.
And both can be true. Like, a lot of people think it's either or, and it's not.
Yeah.
Two things can be true at the same time. Absolutely.
Now, false. We didn't listen to these women tell us about the benefits of celibacy or abstaining. Let me be clear. Now, is that something that a discipline you could maybe take on?
No.
God damn it!
I mean, could it be?
Yeah.
Given the right circumstances. So what Mila said earlier was really interesting to me.
About the sexless marriage?
About the sexless marriage and why you disconnect to reconnect.
Yeah.
Is what I gathered from that. That in a circumstance, if I felt like we would come so far away or so spread out or so disconnected, but we were still having sex, right? Like this scheduled Wednesday at 7:00. I feel it's my obligation because we married thing. Then that might be an interesting journey to take.
Okay. All right.
Short of that.
Allie, you heard that. Just so you heard it.
Don't even think about it.
All right. Do you want to, since I'm escaping that question, what?
No, go ahead. Do you think? I was saying, do you think?
I don't even know what to ask because they've been so good. I guess, well, as we wrap up, right? How do you think I don't even know what question to ask. I really don't. I'm kind of dumbfounded just thinking about everything that's been said. But I guess, what do you want to leave people with abstaining, right? Like, what do you want them to know? Or, because I know a lot of people, and it's in the comments, right? Like, people thinking it's trauma, or people don't want you, or there's just a lot of thoughts that may or may not be accurate, right? But what would you want them to walk away from this conversation understanding and knowing about abstaining?
For me, that we have so much more power than we assume as Black women. I know so many sisters that do it just to do it as a means to an end, and they don't receive pleasure. A, learn how to make yourself feel good, and B, broaden your scope. Sex and the pushing of it is the oldest occupation on the man for a reason, because you hold the power as a woman. You can cross your legs and still go nice places. You can cross your legs and still pleasure yourself and have a great time. You don't have to go P for P. And life is still worth living and exciting. I think so many sisters don't know that. It's
Mute her
like,
mic.
you know,
Mute her mic.
you know,
I'm kidding. Don't mute her mic. I'm kidding.
it's crazy. And like, again, with that blog, I'm like, you 30 some years old, never had a real orgasm. How many men have you let pump on you like a puppy on a pillow to get to this point? Cross your legs and work it out with, candy or something, because that's where you need to be right now, so that you can learn your body, figure out what works, and tell a man. Because like, so many people just lie, like, oh yeah, but the T app, we have the whole facts on the dick now. We like, it kind of curved to the side, so you got to work it out yourself, sis, or you know what, don't even bother. Okay. And that's where we are as a society for a reason. Women, you have the power, and you are able to command what you desire sexually. And I don't think, especially Black women, we don't talk about that enough. Sex is such a hush-hush thing. And it's if you want to get that house, or you want to keep that man by your side, you better do something. No, this is 2025, baby. We ain't got to do that no more. Times have changed. Okay. And own your power and wield it.
And we'll be talking about BDRs next week. Mila, what do you want people to walk away with knowing about abstaining?
It's your choice. I think it's okay to choose to not be intimate, whether it's for health reasons, if it is for energetic reasons, if you are preparing for a big meeting and you need to focus. Like, we should respect each other's need to take our bodies back.
Mm-hmm.
Be careful about using the withholding of intimacy and claiming its celibacy and abstinence as a power play to control someone. I think that's completely unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone that's playing keep away for the purposes of punishing someone, unless it is consensual non-consent, unless you all are playing and that's a part of your no, and you don't get until you. If you're playing, then okay. But if you're
play like that.
Some people,
we know, nigga, we know.
That
shit ain't fun.
But if you are using your love and physical touch to teach someone a lesson because they didn't do something, think about that, right? Like, you're denying yourself pleasure for the purposes of punishing somebody because they didn't take out the garbage.
Yeah.
So I would say allow your abstinence to come from a pure place and not your ego.
Mm-hmm.
Also, men are abstinent and choose to be celibate at their own will. They're not all pushed by pussy. They're not all looking for sex. Like, they have
not the men in this room.
They have things going on with their body. They have things going on energetically. They have children and parents and jobs and things like that. And we got to stop thinking that our vulvas control their world, because it doesn't. And I think that's the other part, if I could leave for women. Men, especially our men, Black men, are experiencing life right now, and they're not necessarily thinking about sex all day, every day. And it is important, if we love our men and we want to have good, amazing sex with them, to honor the fact that they're not just driven by intimacy and penetration and having an orgasm, because they can do that with both hands twice on Sundays, right? So them even giving themselves to us also is a gift. They're not just tools. And so I want to leave it with that.
She wasn't talking to you, Faust.
You both. She spoke for all the men in the room. That's right.
The one in this room. Thank you both for hanging out with us and
appreciate
and getting us together on abstaining. All right, Ron, let's move on to the next topic.
Yep. Please. Sam.
In a relationship, and you are accusing your partner or expecting from your partner something that happened to you before, 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, and you're holding your partner responsible for that, you need to unpack that baggage. You need to talk about what it feels like, and you need to make specific requests to the person or your partner about what it is that you need, want, and desire. And give them the opportunity to say, I can do that or I can't do that. But just holding them responsible for what somebody else did to you, that's not going to turn out well for you. It is not going to turn out well for you. If you're in a relationship and you are accusing your partner
Ron.
or expecting.
All right, y'all. So we are switching topics, and
And
we have
switching
also
people.
switched guests, as you can see. Listen, I'm happy to have a first timer on the show. You know we love us a good, speaking of celibacy, and in his own virgin.
Hey, pop that
but
cherry.
you have seen him on a few other shows before, and he sets these internets on fire with some of his commentary. My man Sam, what's happening, brother?
What's up?
You do? Do I need to follow you? What's happening?
Yes, you do.
Oh, okay. We'll get that together at the end of the show.
There we go.
All right, and what are you doing? All right,
Text around something.
and she's been on the show before. Mitz, welcome back. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to talk about carrying baggage and the baggage you bring into relationships. First, I think what's important to figure out, right, for the sake of the conversation. Mitz, are you aware, at least of most of your baggage going right now? Are you aware of said baggage, whatever that is? And if you want to share what that is, you're welcome to do so.
Yeah. I think that the way that I look at it isn't necessarily as baggage anymore. I think at one point I probably did. And it probably took for me to look at it that way, for me to do something about it or actually face it. But to me, it just means heightened, awareness, a little more clarity, a little more paying attention to my intuition and my inner knowing.
Yeah.
And also just like having worked on things and recognizing the lessons that came from where I've been and what I've done. So, I was upset when you sent me that talking about some baggage. I'm like, oh, so you think I got baggage? But,
should I move out the way?
Back up, Sean.
I don't want no smoke.
Well, hold on. Let me set the table for why I invited these two, by the way, so we can clear the air on that. I know that they have been in long-standing relationships previously. I know they both been married and currently are not, I believe, right? Yeah. So, as a divorced person myself, I know that having gone through that experience does create some hurdles for the next relationship, possibly. So that's why. Not that you all are some damaged, fucked up people. I mean, maybe you are, but that's not why I invited you.
But I also don't think, just looking at Jamal's comment.
Please
right?
don't. I told you.
Well, no, he makes an interesting point, right? I think we hold so much value in words, right? And we make them mean things about ourselves that they don't necessarily have to mean. Having baggage isn't necessarily negative. We all have shortcomings. We all have opportunities. We all have areas where we can grow.
Yes.
Now, if you dub it a baggage, it doesn't change the fact that it's an area that you can grow in, right? So to B's point, I don't want us to look at the word baggage, even though you did, as anything bad about you, other than there's an identified area of growth that we recognize and just honor.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
And as I thought about it, at first it struck me that way, but then as I thought deeper into it, that's what I came up with is like, well, what we're talking about here is the lessons that we've taken from our experiences and the things that we've learned as we move forward into new relationships. We know that, relationships, life is relational. We learn from being in relationships and dealing with certain things. And so that's just what it became. It just kind of became okay, well, what have I taken from the experiences that I've had? And what can I share moving forward with people about the things that I've learned and how that has affected how I live today?
See, you got there. That's what I was doing. Sam, where you at with it?
I hate him.
So even for me, I think baggage have a negative connotation, but it can also, for me, it could be, the good baggage I bring, because there are some good things that
That's
I bring.
right.
You're bringing that Louis Vuitton
That's right.
baggage.
God damn it. That's
Come
right.
on, Louis.
And so I look at it from both areas. Things that I brought into the relationship or to the marriage that may have been negative, or the things I brought in that may have been positive. So I look at baggage as just everything that you bring.
Yeah, that's fair. There you go. I like it that way.
All right. When you think about past relationships, and maybe even in your current relationships, right? When you notice a pattern, right? Something that triggered you from a decade ago, you're getting triggered again, right?
Yeah.
How do you navigate that with your partner? First of all, how does it show up for you? How do you recognize it? And how do you navigate that with your partner? We'll start with Sam.
Repeat that.
I'm sorry, was that the question too long? Sorry.
Yes.
Let me kind of truncate
Abbreviate.
it, right? In past relationships, when some baggage shows up, some trauma shows up, one, how do you navigate it for yourself? And two, how do you navigate it with your partner?
Ooh. To me, I am one that processes things. You know, I have to look at it, and I'm going to communicate it if it's good. Whatever it is, I'm going to communicate it, because if I see, like, for instance, it's like a boat sinking. Before this boat starts to sink, once I see the crack in the boat, I'm going to address the crack. And if we're not addressing the crack, then I know where it's leading. So I'm going to abandon this ship. So I'm going to communicate it. And showing up for it, communicate it, try to get things fixed, come to a equal, to a medium where we're both on the same level. And if not, we still learn from it. Because you're not going to move past everything that you go through. Something you just got to, forgive and move on. Because everything's not going to be fixed.
Yeah. I expected more of a hot take.
You gotta answer the right questions. I get that.
Okay,
Don't worry about it. No. Don't worry about it. No.
I think it depends from where you're coming from. Like if you're talking about the unhealed me, it's gonna show up a lot differently than how it would look today. The way that I dealt with my triggers in the past would have been a lot different than what you see today.
Elaborate.
Let's talk about it.
A lot of escapism, a lot of like, I'm going to go out and do things that are not good for me, or that it's not going to make me face what it is that I'm feeling, or I'm going to avoid communication about it because I'm going to be worried about, upsetting that person, or like, having issues and problems in dealing with it. Right. So, and that's where, when you go through those things and you don't approach things the way that you should, or that you've learned to do, that's how you learn, right? Like in the past, I would have maybe not communicated the way that I felt clearly, or, like I said, done avoidant things, things that weren't directly addressing the issue. And that would just create more problems in the relationship. That would just really aggravate the situation. It wouldn't solve anything, right? So if I'm being honest, that was a part of who I was back then. You said it. We've been married before. So when you come out of that, and I know for me, like, I didn't immediately get into like heal from my divorce. I got right into another relationship, a very toxic one. And we were both as toxic as each other. So then all of these terrible behaviors and, not handling things the way that a rational person would happen. And as a result of those experiences, I learned, okay, that didn't work out so well, right? It didn't necessarily go the way that I thought that it should go. And hurt happened, and arguments happened, and situations happened. And then as you move on from that, you start to develop a process for how you're going to do it the next time, right? And I feel like every time it has gotten a little more clear on how I need to, establish some boundaries and like address things with direct communication and like, care about how that's affecting me, So when I get those triggers now, there's a difference between the unhealed me and the healed me. Like you ask, when you get those triggers, it's very much like Sam is saying, it's like, I'm a communicator, and I like to communicate those things. And I like to try to figure out how we can move through them versus doing the things that I might have done in the past to deal with how I'm feeling.
Do you guys ever find...
Sound a lot like nagging to me. Say it.
I don't know how we got there. I'm gonna be transparent. I think I'm a pretty self-aware person, right? I'm pretty self-aware in my communications with people and in my relationship. But there are just times where I slide back into trauma bullshit, Chantel, right? Like, are you all way more healed than me that you all don't find moments where old Sam or old Mitch show up? Like, what do you guys do when they show up?
Now you asking the right motherfucking question.
Wait, I had to let them fake like they were healed.
You set them up.
I was like, wait a minute.
You set them up.
Now wait a minute. I mean, them people got to show up. What do you do when they show up? Now, if y'all tell me y'all go kumbaya shit, I'm absolutely not gonna believe that.
Nah.
Come on, Sam, what you do?
Sometimes
You
I
first.
just. I'm like,
Well, hold on. Let me expand on that question. What still are your triggers, and then how do you deal with them? I want to hear some of what makes you say, man, no.
So some of my triggers are just just being dismissed. So if I address something, if you've been addressing something to me, and each time I'm on point, okay, I'll fix that. I'm sorry that happened. Let's talk about it. Let's move on. Now, when I address something, now you want to emotionally hijack it. Fuck that. No, we don't talk about this. And what happens with me, I am one. We're not gonna do this on your terms. We're gonna do it on my terms. So
on the unhealed Sam terms.
On the unhealed Sam terms.
Just
so
we're
not going to, because now you're ready to get past it. No, we're not going to get past it. All this beautiful stuff that you do to try to soothe over it, I'll accept it, but I'm gonna still be pissed. That's what
the fuck I'm talking about.
I appreciate it, but I remember.
You be talking, I be quiet. When you leave, I be talking again.
This one time, I'm not gonna say any names or anything, but this happened, right? I forget what happened, but we had a disagreement, and she had this entire day planned, Cola Spa, dinner.
I need to go to the Cola Spa.
Stuff, and I still stood 10 toes down. I'm like, nah, this ain't gonna do.
She took you to the Cola Spa is one of the top 5 spots in the country.
You cannot buy my feelings.
You can buy mine. Especially if it's the Cola Spa.
Nope, this is not gonna be a good day for you.
Wow.
We are not just gonna smooth over this.
Okay, that's fair.
So yeah, that's the old toxic me. Yeah, that's the bullshit I was on.
You could definitely buy me with some Cola Spa.
I salute it.
But I still 10 toes down.
So let me ask this in response to that. And then I want to ask Miss this. She kind of touched on this a little bit before. Have you ruined what could have been a great relationship because you still were not that specific scenario, but because you was holding on to some old shit and couldn't get past it, even if it wasn't their fault, and it jacked up, and you look back like, dang.
And I'm gonna ask you to speak into the side of the mic because I think people have a hard time hearing you. Not your fault. You just got to talk into it in a certain direction.
Have I?
He's like, am I gonna tell on myself? Come on, hot take.
I think I have fucked up some shit. I know I fucked up. I'm 3 marriages in, so yeah, I fucked up some shit.
Wait, I'm sorry. Go back like 3 words. You've been married 3?
Yeah.
Oh,
so, yeah.
Okay.
And there was a combination of all of us. So
okay.
Yeah,
you all married to them at the same time?
No.
Because you said it was a combination of all y'all. It's just being a fucking asshole.
But I hear you. It wasn't like that.
Okay. All right, Mitch. I don't remember Brian's question, but I think it went something. What was your question?
Have you messed up something that was potentially good because old Mitts came in like a hurricane and jacked it up?
I'm being real honest here. If old mitts came and jacked it up, it's because you triggered old mitts, and you're doing things that I'm just, this mitts is not going to do with you.
Where's the accountability, Miss?
I will take accountability.
This is like an internet post. Women don't take accountability. Come on.
You want, but no.
I mean, not that there's not any truth to that.
I am taking accountability for the times where I know I showed up and I was a mess. I was a hot mess. I definitely will do that 100 times over. There were plenty of those years. You were around for them. So,
don't put me in that.
I don't remember nothing.
Like,
yeah, I'll take accountability for that 100%. But no, I mean, honestly, if I'm thinking back, if things got ruined, it was because I feel like maybe I hadn't recognized well enough what I really needed in that situation. And I see how I'm not putting it on them. Like, I'm not blaming that person for what they did. I'm saying I was not recognizing what I needed in that situation, right? That's on me.
Yep.
If I wasn't looking for that or had the expectation that I should receive that in the situation, that's on me, right? But that's that whole settling for less than what I was needing or wanting in a situation, kind of accepting being partly chosen, not fully chosen type thing. But yeah, I can't say that I've ever been in a situation where like my toxic self messed up something good. It was more of my not recognizing what I really wanted messed up. Well, actually, I don't know, informed what needed to go.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't. That's how it is.
Fair.
All right. Well, on that note, or on that topic, Mitch, what's some baggage or one Louis Vuitton bag that you're still working on? And how does that affect any relationships you currently have?
Hold on, let me shift.
Oh, yeah.
Should I move? I don't know.
Betrayal. That's kind of been a theme for me. Just working through like multiple betrayals.
What do you do in your new relationships around that?
You betraying or being betrayed or both?
Being betrayed.
Okay,
I assume that, but
I don't like to assume.
I'm a loyal bitch, and you go out there and find somebody that can tell you I haven't been, right. If I'm single, I'm single. That's one thing. But if I'm committed to a relationship, I'm committed to a relationship. So having experience.
What about us? Fuck us! I'm dehydrated too.
Yeah, that's definitely something that has been a theme over time. And I think that working on not betraying myself and paying attention to the things that I intentionally ignored in the past that I saw right in front of me has been how I've worked through it, right? Like, I could say all I want that these people have betrayed me, but I saw things that let me know that was happening or would happen. And I chose to ignore it.
How do you okay, so you have this portrayal, right? How do you go into new relationships? You have that the sirens in the back of your head, or maybe it's a whisper, right? Of I don't want to be betrayed. He's going to betray you. How do you bring that into a relationship? What do you do about that? You on like date number 5. Do you say, hey, I have this trigger? Or are you like coaching yourself? Like, what do you do?
Yes, I don't control anybody else but me. I don't have any control over what anybody else does but me. So what if it's going to happen, it's going to happen, but I'm not going to sit there looking for it. At the end of the day, I cannot control what other people decide to do. I have no control over that. All I can control is how I handle it,
how you react to
how
it.
I move forward from it. Am I going to stand on my own personal boundaries? Am I going to stand on the things that I want for myself? And that in the past is what I would betray all the time. Like, I'd be like, oh, he just cheated on me, but I'm gonna give him another chance. I'm just not going to do that anymore. That's the difference between then and now. It's like, what are you going to stand on? Are you going to keep going through those same patterns that you already recognize, that you've already seen multiple times? Or are you going to try to do something different? And even if it sucks in the moment, so it's already sucked in many moments. So I'm familiar with things that suck. I survived them.
That can so go in the wrong place.
If I had been drinking,
listen.
I've had a little liquor, and I was like,
hold on. I got to turn this question around on the thrice married man.
Yeah.
Sam, what are you working on, brother?
I'm working on my stubbornness. I can be stubborn as shit. I can be stubborn as shit.
Recognize game.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I can be really stubborn, especially, like I said, when my feelings are dismissed. I'm just not, I'm not budging.
Yeah.
And I can hold on to it for a minute. So that's one of the things, like, I'm working on my stubbornness.
So how are you building patience? Because the opposite of stubborn is patience.
It's crazy. I have a lot of patience.
Really? Okay.
I am very, very patient. I'm very understanding. But and that's the reason why, because I'm so patient, because I'm so understanding, it's like now when my feelings are dismissed, like, look, I've been patient with you. I've been understanding to everything that you brought to me. But now when mine come up, now it's like, nah.
But I have a question, because I feel like the opposite of stubborn is not patience. I feel like it's open-minded.
Well, that too, but as a recognized stubborn person, I recognize I'm stubborn because I don't want to give anymore, right? I do not want to be patient with you. I don't want to give you no more, right? And I assume you can recognize that in yourself, right? Mm-hmm. So that's why I say patience is the opposite, because you're releasing your inability to withhold, right? Because when you're patient, you're giving them the time, you're giving them the ability to reconcile or whatever they need to do. So that's why I'm recognizing it as opposite. It's not like the direct opposite, like if you go in the dictionary.
Yeah, because once that stubbornness set in, it's like, I don't give a fuck.
So you're trying to learn how to refill once your grace cup is empty. You're trying to learn how to refill it.
Yeah, because once it's empty, it's like, how do I refill this? Like, how do I get back there?
Yeah, they might not be capable all the time of refilling. So it's gonna have to be a you thing.
Yeah,
right? It has to be a me thing, because I'm the only person responsible for me.
Yeah. They also got to prove worthy though.
No, they don't.
They do.
No, they don't.
At a certain point, you got to prove worthy of me refilling that cup over and over and over and over.
I think that's part of what Mitch is saying, right? Like, and you said this. And Mila said this in the last segment. You have to choose how you're going to be with people. People cannot be the reason or the barometer for your behavior. You have to be the reason for your behavior, regardless of what they do. Now, that does not mean that they get to behave badly or poorly or be fucking dickheads, but it's always your choice, no matter what they do.
Or that it's going to be easy for you to deal with them being the way that they are.
Yeah.
Or that it's not going to trigger you. Or that it's not going to bring out a side of you that you would rather not see, right? Like, that happens. Yeah. We're human, So.
But that's why I'm saying by earn, I'm saying they have to be the person that deserves. Maybe deserves is a better word. They've earned.
I think it's all a choice.
I'm the only one. Of course, it's my choice. But you have to give me a reason to want to choose it.
Right.
Do they?
You do. I mean, you don't have to. You don't have to. And then at the end of the day, I don't have to do it.
Well, no, I think you have to show up in a certain way for sure. Like, I would want someone to show up with some transparency, maybe even some vulnerability if they're capable of it. They've got to show up with some honesty, and those are things that you can perceive about a person. The difference between them being transparent and not, those are things that are perceivable. So if I'm not seeing that you're showing up in a consistent and transparent way, in a way that I can see where your intentions are, it's not going to make me want to open up more to you or to try to work through things.
This is what I'm saying.
When you're triggered, right?
Yeah.
Like, you got to there's got to be a reason,
Yeah.
So I agree with that.
Yeah.
Shonda's like, nah, I just love meeting.
I mean, you love people for a reason, right? You love them because they're considerate or thoughtful, or they tall, or they got money, whatever your reasons are. But I don't know. I'm kidding. I'm trying to. I mean, some people do love people because they tall. That's not a true statement. But I feel like, I don't know, something Mila said, right? It can't be about people. I don't know how the words I'm looking for, but it can't be about the other person. It has to constantly be about you. Is ultimately what I'm saying. You have to choose to be whoever you're going to be in the moment, whether it's going to be the shitty person or the graceful person. You're constantly making that choice, regardless of what they do.
I won't say regardless, but I won't say regardless.
But you get to choose, right?
It is your choice.
But
I get to choose.
You get to choose.
Make that choice for me too.
No, nigga, it's always your choice.
Always your choice. Yeah.
I mean, it's always a choice.
It's
You're right.
always your choice.
But it's based on
But my decisions have been based on your actions.
what I'm observing.
That's right.
what
Yeah,
I'm
and how it
feeling.
impacts me. I'm making a choice based on how it impacts
all
me,
I'm
for
saying.
sure.
I always go back to the 40-year-old version. You want nigga here now.
Oh yeah. When Kevin Hart was giving up my man Static in the store. That's
I
right.
have to go back.
That's right.
That again.
Oh, he here now.
Nigga here now.
So I'm gonna start with Sam. You've had this baggage. It's been there. Has that baggage, or those things that you're working on, led you to having some misconceptions going into relationships with people, like maybe misreading them, based on the lens that you're coming from, or you just maybe had an idea of how relationships would go? Again, looking through the lens of your baggage, have you been able to identify any of that?
So for me, each relationship is a fresh start for me.
Oh,
It's always a fresh start.
it's very mature of you.
It is. And I have to go into it like that. I can't, because I don't want to. The new relationship does not deserve what I went through.
Mm-hmm.
They don't deserve that. So for me, it's always a fresh start. Whatever happened in my previous relationship, that was them. It had nothing to do with their sign. They were probably just a shitty person, or whatever the case may be, or I fucked up and I was a shitty person. It had nothing to do with anything. So I believe in a fresh start because I would want someone to give me a fresh start also. And so, yeah, respect, honesty, all of it's a fresh start.
Damn, people are so goddamn mature. Mitz, has your baggage?
Therapy will do that for you.
You know what? That's
Yeah,
very true.
absolutely.
Very true.
Yeah.
Same question for you. Have your baggage, the things you're coming in with, led you to have some misconceptions about people in your relationships?
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Because like I said, as you're working through that fear of betrayal and that, the trust issues that you're always kind of working through.
Yeah.
If you've experienced that, it does. It's like, hasn't responded yet. It has been like 10 minutes, like all of that comes into play for sure. But I think that what I've learned from it is, when I look at those things and I'm feeling a way about a thing, I look back on me and not the people that I dealt with. And I think about where I was and what I was thinking during those times, and the things that I accepted or tolerated, and things that I wanted, and the place I was in my life. So I really always try to come back to myself. Again, because it's like I say, I'm not in control of the way that people move through the world. I'm in control of what I do and how I move forward, right? And whatever people have bestowed upon me in the past, I accepted it at some point. At some point, I was okay with it. I was there for it, and as I have learned better, I have to think back on, like, what was it that you were thinking or that you were doing when you were in that space, and I do that now still. It's like, what is it about this that's triggering me, or that is a problem for me, or that is part of what's going on with myself? So that's the best I can do with that.
You've brought some really mature people onto this show.
I thought there was
I'm
going to be
sorry,
more
you
fucking.
wanted
I thought there was going to be a smidge more.
I'm like, wow, they are
Sorry.
No, I love these words. I love these words.
All right, so you guys are welcome to hang out with us for our last segment, where we're going to talk about falsest words.
I don't even know what you picked. What did you pick this week?
It's a silly one. It's not anything incredibly profound,
Oh.
but it's one of the things that drives me the most nuts about Be False. So we'll talk about it. Bring the image up.
What image?
I'll read it.
Yeah,
I sent him the image. It's in the
Don't read
email.
it. Don't worry about
I gotta go to my thing and then I'll read it. Sorry, I would have been more prepared.
That's all right. We had a little tech dish. In the meantime, thank you all for those. You all were fantastic today. All four of you all, I swear.
All right. So from Brian's, we go back to Brian's 50th, where he spent 50 days, or probably more like 45, because he skipped some days because he was on the boat drinking.
No, I was in jail. Placed in jail.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
I was in jail.
He's in Facebook jail. But on day 44, wise Brian False said, before you send a text, stop and collect your thoughts and send one coherent text, not 10 thoughts. Wait, not 10 3-word messages back to back. people that do that are mouth breathers. Don't be a
breathers. Don't be a mouth breather. Listen, thank you for pulling that up because people still you still do it.
I know.
So
I know I just did that.
and you, oh my God,
I
listen,
like 5 messages in a row.
listen. I know y'all got things to tell me, and I'm here for them. But please pause, collect your thoughts, and send me one message. I'm usually driving or in the middle of something. If I got to stop every 5 seconds to do this because you send me 15 text messages, I'm upset. You're better than this, people. You're smarter. You're more coherent. You're a better communicator. I have faith in you. Do better.
Do you? Now, I actually do it on purpose just to piss him off.
And it was consistent.
just to piss him off.
I'm for sure gonna do it on purpose.
Now, Sam, do you share in Brian's, what's the word? Aggression toward 10 3-word text messages in a row?
That shit
This is my new dog.
annoys the fuck out of me. Yeah. Like just send one. I would rather read one long text. It could be 10 paragraphs. Don't back to back to back. Nah.
Come on. What is this? And
you get one word.
Look, don't get
word.
blocked. Don't get blocked.
I promise you, I did that once where I sent him like 12 one-word text messages in a row in all caps.
And what I'm very happy has disappeared is the I text you and I'm driving. I can't return your text. Now I'm driving too, and now I'm looking at the phone for no damn good reason. Don't just text me back when you can.
First of all, I don't understand. You drive Kit. Why is a Kit reading your text messages to you?
Doesn't matter. This is beyond the point. This is before I had Kit. All right.
Oh my God.
But so I'm glad that's going away. Some people, public service messages for the rest of us. I know some of you all are stream of consciousness and just text messages. Stop and think about it for a hot second. Would you send your boss 15 texts in a row? No, you send something clear and coherent.
You are not my boss. I work for you.
I'm not anybody's boss. What I'm saying is, give me the same respect. And you might get a check. I'm just saying, if I can convert you, you might get a little check in the mail. Good Lord.
I'm glad I picked a good one. I picked two, but I was like, I'm gonna go with the more silly one.
Good Lord, thank you, God. All right, I'm glad people. That's prevalent. Listen, I want to thank all my guests again. You all were awesome. It was a fun show. I will be absent next week. I'm out of town. So Sean, every time I go away, she does some craziness. So Sean, what you talking about next week?
We're gonna get into some BRDs.
What's a BRD?
Bad dick report. Oh, I am right.
No, BDR.
BDR, whatever. Bad dick reports. We're gonna talk about some girl sex chat. What makes A game sex versus B game sex versus C game sex?
For women?
For women, yes.
Hold on.
From a woman's perspective.
So it's not about a man saying you got an A game or a C game. Y'all gonna tell us what our C game.
Yeah.
So it's all about our people.
Well, just not all about.
All right, cool.
I mean,
I understand.
That we love those kind of subjects. I mean, that's fair, but I can't do nothing you don't tell me about. That's all I got to say. So yes, we're gonna have Jen on, and you know how Jen loves to talk about sex.
Jesus. Thank God I'll be out of the country. I can't even stream this. Thank the Lord. Thank you for lack of internet in foreign countries.
It's gonna be a good time. It's a good time.
I will roster repeat. Maybe. In the meantime, in between time, y'all have a great week. What were you about to say?
No, nothing.
All right. Have a great week. We will see you, and you will see Sean right back here. Same bad time, same bad channel, 7:00 p.m. Central, In the Zone podcast. Holla at y'all later.
Podcast. In the Zone podcast. In the Zone podcast. In the Zone podcast. In the Zone podcast.